On the news, court sentences Danish man Peter Nielsen to death for killing wife and daughter. Federal Airport Authority confirms human remains on Lagos Airport runway. And Abuja residents angry as FCTA demolishes dozens of houses. We're glad to have you join us to News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. A high court sitting in Lagos has sentenced to death by hanging a Danish man, Peter Nielsen, for the murder of his Nigerian wife and daughter. The Lagos state government had arraigned the defendant on June 13, 2018, before the court on a two-count charge of murder, contrary to Section 223 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos. The state submitted that the defendant, aged 53, allegedly killed his wife Zainab and his 3-year-old daughter on April 5, 2018 at their residence in the Ikoyi area of Lagos. He have pleaded not guilty to the 2 counts of murder punishable under the law. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has said an unidentified body has been discovered on runway of the Murtala Mohammed Airport. In a statement signed by FAN's General Manager of Corporate Affairs, Faithful Hope Ivaze, the corpse was discovered on Thursday. She explained that a motorized cleaner that was cleared to carry out sweeping of the runway discovered the remains and escalated the situation to relevant departments. She further explained that as a result, the runway was temporarily closed to allow for immediate evacuation of the remains. While flight operations have resumed, investigations are ongoing and the report will be issued accordingly. And now to politics. As presidential aspirant of both the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, scout for votes ahead of the primaries, analysts have urged delegates to vote their conscience in the bid to elect the appropriate candidate as flag bearers of the parties. Speaking to TV360 Nigeria, Adewale Ajadi, who is the public affairs analyst, explained that it is only right for the selected delegates to vote for candidates that are capable, as a decision would shape the country's polity for the next couple of years. He maintained that there are expectations that the exercise would be fair considering the influential aspirants that have thrown their hearts into the ring.
What is also special about this election that's coming is that it's an election that would determine the dominant party for if not the next 8 years. So whatever these delegates do is going to shape everything. In actual fact, human beings have the infinite capacity to self-justify. So the dichotomy between conscience and money is reduced because you convince yourself that you're actually voting your conscience anyway, and you're just getting a tip for it. And this is the danger. There's serious so the transparency of the process is the only thing we can hope for. We can hope that the party itself has checks and balances in its process for people to review. And because a lot of very influential people are involved that have ways in which they can challenge each other, that is the greatest protection we have, that none of them would allow any other person. They've been in the process. If you take the APC, with the exception of maybe the vice president, most of these people have been involved in the process of the last election. So they have views, they are politicians, seasoned politicians in that way. On the PDP side, that's exactly the same. They've been involved in politicking in that sense. So that might help, that these are powerful people who can cancel each other out very easily.
The Zenith Labour Party is set to change its name ahead of the 2023 general elections. National chairman of the party, Dan Nwanyawu, said this on Friday after a meeting of the National Executive Council. The party says it will change its name as part of its strategic planning to accommodate more influential politicians to its fold. The party also asks Nigerians to take the advantage of the party's open door system to contest another party platform as it is selling forms for different political offices.
We have issues from people in the progressive bloc, some conservatives who are progressive in their actions and dealings, that they should be accommodated. And these are some of the challenges we have faced in course of this nomination process. Say, look, Chairman, we want to join you, but we are not Labour. Some of them think that Labour is for only workers and for civil servants. So NEC in session, this NEC has considered everything and is now trying to put up a name that will be considered to be the new name for the party, to accommodate all shares of opinions and beliefs. So that is exactly why we say, okay, we'll bring it to your notice. Don't ask me about the name. It has not been decided. But you can go to the market. There's any Labour party likely to change its name before the election. This party will grow better than what it is. And that is exactly what we are doing. We don't want to leave any group behind. We want to carry as many people as possible with different ideologies. But everything must be hinged on the people. It must be hinged on the masses. It must be hinged on the family.
More than 25 houses and trade mall estates in Lugbe, Abuja, have been demolished by the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, on Thursday. This comes following a 48-hour demolition notice given by the FCTA as affected residents were seen hurriedly evacuating their properties. They also accused the FCT authorities of marking more buildings than the original 23 houses that were approved for demolition. More details in this report. This happened in 2020 after an unidentified man lost his life after a heavy flood at Trademore Estate in Lugbe, Abuja Municipal Area Council. His death and that of others have triggered this demolition exercise by the FCT authorities. While residents looked on, the FCT Ministerial Task Force team pulled down over 30 houses, which it says are illegal and the cause of incessant flooding in the area. Ikaro Atta, the Senior Special Assistant on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement to the FCT Minister, who led the operation, revealed that over 100 illegal houses would be affected.
Here there is excessive development on the floodplain and the water corridor, and that has led to the death of some persons, and that is not very worrisome. I mean, this year we are having very early flood warning, very dangerous one here, and we came in here, met with the team here. We're engaging so much of engagement with stakeholders here, and we are removing the houses that are on the flood corridors. The one here, I can show you, the man was arguing with me that there was no marking in his residence. I quickly had to take a picture with my phone and show him the picture here. Look at an old marking that was clean. You will see the old marking that was clean in the picture, and the man left. They were all marked.
Reacting to the development, the chairman of Trademore Estate Phase 2, Uchechukwu Moses, said he's not aware of the previous notices apart from the one sent to the estate some days ago.
The only notice that we know of was on Friday last week. We were called to the Development Control Office that we should come there for a meeting to proffer solution on a way out. Then after we've said one or two things on the way out, and we are meant to understand that the minister has given approval for houses to be demolished. From what we learned is 23, 21 houses, and from what we can see, the demolition is already ongoing, and no one can say anything any longer.
Some residents questioned if the demolition exercise will solve the area's flood problems.
All the houses on this line will be demolished. I'm like, how? These people here are not around. They have properties inside here and they are not around. And they are not aware. Assuming it was marked, we would have had time to save at least 99 to 98% of what is in there. Then we can now talk about the building because they will sort that out later.
It has been marked for a while. Like when I knew they were very serious was 3 years ago, when the incident happened and cleared about 4 or 5 lives, and they came and marked it. So after then, every year it still continues until last year that so many people died that I can't even count. Some said 9, some said 10. So when they came, they marked everywhere. Even these houses were marked also. But I think there's a mistake somewhere. This particular one behind the camera is not marked. Maybe it's a mistake or they forgot, I don't know. But right now, they started demolishing it, and I think it's for the best of the estates.
I feel they should go and tackle the issue from wherever this water is coming from. Because if you demolish here now, what if the water expands and comes to this side? Will you become demolition everywhere? I don't think it's right. And these people are not even at home, and they're demolishing their houses.
Despite the losses, the FCT administration has said it would not compensate anyone because the estate lacks building plan as well as approval. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News. The Lekki Phase 1 Resident Association has urged the Lagos State government to immediately begin the enforcement of the motorcycle operation ban rather than wait for June 1st as earlier announced. Chairman of the association, Yomi Idowu, while speaking at a press conference, explained that the association would take steps to ensure that the new directive is strictly enforced by residents. The Lagos State government had on Wednesday banned commercial motorcycles, popularly known as Okada riders, from operating in 6 local government areas of the state.
Intelligence reports reaching us is that following the raid on Okada riders that since Monday, there was one on Monday and Tuesday, and subsequent seizure of these Okada bikes in Lekki Phase 1, the riders believe the action was instigated by Lekki residents who are determined to take away their source of livelihood. In retaliation, there are plans by these Okada riders to invade our inner streets and cause havoc in the immediate future. This we will not allow. We sincerely appreciate and thank the Lagos State government for being proactive and taking a stand on total ban of Okadas. The government has called for the ban from the 1st of June 2022. But we, the residents of Lekki Phase 1, cannot risk the lives of all residents and have the Okadas running free in our neighborhood. We are therefore taking proactive measures, and we are calling for this ban to commence with immediate effect.
And still in Lagos, the Lagos Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has decried rising rate of road accidents in Nigeria. Speaking at an event in Lagos tagged Driving and the Nigerian in You, the sector commander bemoaned the attitude of Nigerians towards road regulations, which identified as the major reason for road accidents in Nigeria. Also speaking at the event, the PRO Lagos State Command FRSC Ololade Mala explained some of the road traffic signs and their relevance to ensuring safety on the road.
An indication that we have been underestimating the data that comes from this nation. And when we say 35,000 people are in a year, it's an indication that so many lives are being wasted on Nigerian roads. Then we ask our problem, where is this problem coming from? When the roads are not good, we blame the government. When the roads are fixed, we blame the government. What is the problem with the road users? So if I have to stand and talk the reason why we are having issues in Nigeria, I would say we should ask the road users. Yourself, myself, and all other people that are involved that we call stakeholders as regards the road. The government have their own role to play. The law enforcement agencies have to play, and we also have our own role to play.
We have 3 major types of signs. We have the warning signs, we have the informative signs, and of course we have the regulatory signs. Under the regulatory signs, you have the prohibitory signs that tell you, do not do this or do not do that. And whenever you default, when you have a prohibitory sign and you do the wrong thing, then just know that the Federal Road Safety Corps is coming for you. So this actually means no crossing. This means no crossing. So once you cross here, it's actually very simple for us to carry you, catch you, and arrest you for doing the wrong thing. But I know in Nigeria, Lagos is actually very, very peculiar state. You will see bridges, you see pedestrian bridges ahead, but we are just used to the running, that let me quickly run to save time. But instead of trying to save time, what if you are crushed down by a vehicle, that you end up the time you were planning to save?
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Africa's CDC warns of possible new COVID-19 variant amid spike in new cases. Details of this story and more right after this break.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places, the Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. A high court sitting in Lagos is sentenced to death by hanging a Danish man, Peter Nielsen, for the murder of his Nigerian wife and daughter. The Lagos state government had arraigned the defendant on June 13, 2018 before the court on a 2-count charge of murder, contrary to Section 223 of the criminal laws of Lagos. We also told you that the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has said an unidentified body has been discovered on the runway of the Murtala Mohammed Airport. In a statement signed by FAN's General Manager of Corporate Affairs, Faithful Hope Ubaze, the corpse was discovered on Thursday after a motorized cleaner that was cleared to carry out sweeping of the runway discovered the remains and escalated the situation to relevant departments. And in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. The Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, has warned that there is a possibility of a new COVID-19 variant would emerge in Africa in a foreseeable future. According to figures from the Africa CDC, the African continent has seen a 36% average increase of new COVID-19 cases over the past 4 weeks, with Central and Eastern African regions reporting increasing new COVID-19 cases by 113 and 54% respectively. The United Kingdom's National Health Service has called for a further round of boosters to be offered to more than 25 million people in the country. The Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization says another round of jabs would help protect the most vulnerable adults and frontline social care and health workers against severe COVID-19 in the winter. Despite considerable uncertainty over the likelihood, timing and severity of any future wave of COVID-19 in the country, the committee added that the threat from the virus will be greatest in the winter months. I will take a break here and return with more stories and business. To stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app. If you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Mary Cannon now joins us for more stories in business. Over to you, Mary.
Well, thank you for Lashade. Hello and welcome to Business News. Following reports on the failed assets acquisition deal between Seplat Energy and ExxonMobil, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC has made an offer to acquire the assets. ExxonMobil and Seplat Energy had recently announced a $1.6 billion sales agreement deal that will see Seplat purchase ExxonMobil's complete shares in the state-owned oil firm. However, the NNPC objected to the sale of ExxonMobil's equity to Seplat and has insisted on exercising its first right of refusal, after which the corporation made an offer above $1.6 billion to ExxonMobil. The NNPC will officially debut in July with its bid to acquire ExxonMobil's assets, part of the corporation's expansion plan. We'll take a break and be back with Stock Market Review. Stocks of the services sector were the toast of investors today, and as we see, Learn Africa and Global Spectrum Energy shared combined 62 kobo to drag the market to the best. The bearish sentiments spread across the market, with the components of the activity chart showing 59% improvement in volume, 62% decline in turnover, and 9% decline in deals. Now, so far in the week, the market has witnessed more low trading days as the all-share index dipped to 0.55% to close at 52,979 basis points as the bear maintained dominance for the trimming gains as investors extend profit taking. We wait and see what the fourth trading week holds. Now to some selected global stocks, it's a mixed trading day for the FTSE, the Dow Jones and the Nikkei. Now, despite the Dow Jones trading down at 0.64%, UK's FTSE rebounded as a move by China to support its economy lifted sentiment at the end of a rocky week for markets, hence the bullish sentiment seen in Asia and the US. And as we can see, the FTSE is currently trading up at 1.19%. The Nikkei is also trading up at 1.27%. Well, that's the stock market review. Back to Folashade.
Many thanks, Mary. And on the foreign scene, Sudanese authorities have released two anti-coup figures from the Communist Party a day after the arrest. The Communist Party has said party's political secretary Mohammed Mukhtar Al-Khatib and another member were detained after meeting rebel leader Abdul Wahid Noor, who has refused to sign a landmark 2022-2020 peace deal with the Sudanese government. Meanwhile, the United Nations and African Union have called for a dialogue between all Sudanese factions to resolve the ongoing crisis. Well, up next is Entertainment Reporter News Now.
It's the season for getting hitched in Nollywood as our on-screen favorites have said I do to their significant others. Nollywood actor Blossom Chukwujeku has gotten married for the second time after 3 years. The movie star and his new bride Winifred Akwemokan got married traditionally on Friday, May 20 in Benin City, Edo State. The actor shared a pre-wedding photo of himself and his new bride in the traditional Edo outfit. According to several reports, Akwemokan is the niece of Christ Embassy's senior pastor Chris Oyakilome. Chukwujeku got married to media personality Maureen Esisi in 2015, but the couple got divorced in 2019. Actress Inidima Okoje and Boo Abasi Eneobong are legally married. Ini announced the good news on Instagram on Friday, including photos and videos from the court ceremony. Ini looked stunning in a white off-shoulder top and pants with a veil. Inidima Okoje and Abasi Eneobong announced their engagement in July 2021 and had their introduction ceremony on November 6, 2021. Congratulations to the new couples. And that's all there is on the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment and now to sport, the Tigers have called on the federal government to overturn Nigeria's withdrawal from international basketball competitions for 2 years. Their plea followed the ban which was announced last week by the Minister of Sports and Youth Development, Sunday Dare, who pinned the decision on the need to revamp the game amid a power tussle in the Nigeria Basketball Federation. The female team, which recently qualified for the FIBA Women's World Cup competition, in a Twitter thread faulted the move, insisting it would erase all they have worked for. That's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.